Welcome, everyone, to this week's installment of the Waku Vibe Coding session. Guiding us gently through the journey today is Danish. Waku engineer extraordinaire. Hello, welcome to the stream, sir. How are you?
Hello. Thank you, Aaron. Pretty good.
Thank you for being here. We have been picking up quite a bit of steam with these. I'm excited to have you here today. Take us through another interesting journey. I am here to prop you up. Danish, before we get started, where can the people find you on Twitter or anywhere where they can find you?
Yeah. Twitter is probably the most where I am the most public. I try to be public. I try. That's the keyword. On Twitter, I'm gonna be Danish Arora 099. I think it is in the title. So DANISHARORA 099.
Beautiful, folks. That is where to send your questions, frustrations, and roadblocks when it doesn't work on your machine. Without further ado, I pass it over to you, sir, and I wish you the best of luck as we share the screen.
All right.
Let me know how to prop you up.
Yeah. So for today, I saw Frank. He wrote this little web app where he wrote a whiteboarding app over Waku. And I saw this morning, and I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. And it's only a few hundred lines, and it works pretty damn well, actually. So this is what Frank built. Nope. It's a whiteboarding app where you draw a stroke, and the stroke is communicated to whoever's online over Waku, and it just works. And for this stream, let's try to fork this repository and build a Pictionary over this, at least in whatever minimal form, where we'll actually spec it out. Let's spec it out. What do we want? What do we want from um, the Pictionary app? Pictionary over Waku. So we want to have ideally Pictionary is more than one person. So it's a team versus team game, right? You have um, when one team, one person draws out something, um, and rest of the team guesses what the word is. And of course, there's a word is given to the team. One person from the team draws out something, draws out that word, and the rest of the team guesses what the word is. Pointer goes up. And this goes around in circles, unless I am mistaken what Pictionary is. Um, and this goes around. Team B does the above, right? So we have we have the drawing part implemented already. We wanna use that drawing part and we wanna add layers around it. Um, yeah, let's see how that starts to look like. Yeah, there are people drawing. That's amazing. So let's start with forking this repository. And it's a beautiful single file HTML repository. I have no experience working with HTML files um, for entire code bases, but I know Frank loves them. So we might change this into a React project, or we might just use this. Um, all right. So let's start reading through what is happening on a higher level. Um, all right. So we have the definitions for the different messages that are sent over Waku. So there's a whiteboard message, the timestamp, user ID, message ID, and the content is a stroke, which is a stroke. I don't think we need to get into how the strokes are implemented and how they work. We know that they work, but okay, the first thing I guess we want to look into is having a concept of rooms. So different content topics for different rooms. So I guess we want to have a different content topic for each room. Perhaps something like collaborative board. Um, and let's keep it simple and add a unique identifier here. And this is going to be where all the different strokes are sent. We also need a mechanism to discover, or we can actually add that part of the URL. So um, I guess the URL right now is just nothing, just root. So let's also add add room ID in the URL. So I create a room, uh, create room, and URL has a room. I send that to Aaron, and we get connected to this particular content topic, and we start sending strokes. I think this is a good place to start. Um, Once we have an idea of rooms, we also want to have an idea of teams. So let's keep this 1v1 for now. So we want to assign um, the first, the creator of the room as the guesser, as the guesser first, switches, sides are switched after each guess. And the most important, we want to have array of words that are randomized and yeah, sides are switched. We want to have a concept of points per team, timer, maybe, yes. And what else? What else do we
Confetti for the
often?
winner.
Oh yeah, confetti for the winning team. And let's keep a round of 5 words on each side. Yeah, that sounds good. So the first thing, let's start vibing. Um, the first thing we want to do is we want to have a concept of rooms here. And for that, um, we want to introduce a concept of rooms, essentially treating this whiteboarding app, essentially moving towards converting this whiteboarding app into a Pictionary game that is played between two players, 1v1, and later NVN. We want to add the concept of room ID in the content topic, and that's the format we want to use. Room ID is generated when a user creates a room, clicks a create create new game button. So let's so a create new game or a join new game button. Let's show 2 buttons. Create a new game, join a game button. Join game takes a room ID. Create game appends the room ID in the URL. content topic is derived from the room ID. Let's see what that does so far. And while that happens, we also wanna let's host this, start the server.
As the vibing cooks, I do encourage our live viewers to please like, share, subscribe, comment wherever you might be watching, X, YouTube. We do see the chat here. If you have a question, please send it through, and we will address it in the order that it was received.
While that happens, I'm gonna do a little side quest and try to convert this into a separate file so that it's easier for it to finishes the editing faster, because it has to, when AI is working, it has to go through each line. So the smaller your file, the faster the edits. So we probably wanna, I should actually fork the repository instead of clone it. Yeah, it's still going. That's crazy. I don't know. It's going to do a lot of things, probably some things that we might not need.
We're gonna get a 10,000 line HTML file.
Yeah, it looks like it's been cooking for a while. It's not changed that much. Of yeah, the problem is that it's just 600 lines, maybe more, 800 lines. All right, the first thing we're going to do right after is convert it into a React plus TS code base. All right, let's see what it's done so far. All right, change the name. That's good. Add some CSS. All right, I won't mind. It's added a lobby screen. That's nice. We need that. And then a separate game screen, which is probably the existing stuff. It's categorized that as a game screen. So if as you load a game, it's going to check if the URL has a room, and then it's going to internally try to join the room, which is going to initialize the content topic for it. Yeah, perfect. It's got a function to generate a new room. So if you create a new game, it's going to generate a room ID. It's going to initialize join room. So both when you're creating a game and when you're joining a game, both call join room and just set the content topic. So we need a mechanism to know whose turn it is. That's probably what's going to be the next step. So for now, we have a room specific content topic initialized. Initial color. Okay, that's initial color when Waku is initialized. Okay. Okay, it looks pretty straightforward for now. It just took a lot of time. Let's see how it looks. All right, that looks nice. Create a new game. Oh, that does not look nice. Okay. So let's give it a feedback. When a new room is joined, let's remove the create join modal attached a screenshot. All right, I'm having second thoughts about converting it into. Let's do it towards the end if we have time. Next up, let's do an array of words. Let's look up common dictionary words. Let's ask AI. Common dictionary words in an array. There's probably something even Cursor would be able to do. Let's pick up the easy ones. And let's actually just set it up here. Keep all. And script const words. All right. We have added an array of words. Let's use these words to prompt. Let's prompt a word out of this array randomly to the user to start drawing. Along with this, we probably want to have the concept of turns first, so it knows what player, the concept of teams, what player is what. So before this, um, assign the room creator to be the first person to act, team one, and the second person, and wait until the second person joins the room, and then assign it um, team two. We might want to, so when a player, for this, we might want to emit an event. So when there's the first person that joins, we want to send a notification. We want to send a message over a particular content topic that a player's joined. And then when player two uh, joins, it sends the message as well. So there's an acknowledgement that there's somebody that's joined. We probably want to make this more robust uh, eventually, but for the POC, we'll assume both players are online at the same time. When player when a player joins the room, it sends a notification over Waku that it's joined. Similarly for player two, and let's do this by having them click a I am ready button. Let's try that. All right, that's good. So various game states, waiting for players, ready to start, playing, and game over. All right, so now it's making specific edits, which is nicer. Honestly, it could also just one-shot this entire thing, but there's no fun in that. We're going to ignore the CSS stuff, do what you want with that. Player join data. All right, that's good. Oh, we're going to commit our code next time, so it's easier to follow along. And also move to the forked repository before we commit. So it's just going to fetch it from the URL who the creator is. I mean, that's going to work for now, but it's easy to um, spoof. What would be a good way? We probably want to see who was the who sent the first message over that content topic. And for that, we also want to have persistent peer IDs so that on each refresh, the peer ID does not change for users. Let's start building a to-do list that we want to eventually get to. Have a persistent peer ID so that refreshes don't change the player ID. Next thing is probably going to be what was it that I was just thinking? Yeah, for gauging who the creator is, check the first message sent on the content topic instead of checking from URL params. All right. So it's done a few things. Team assignment logic, automatically assigned to team one. Automatic second player is team two. URL helps us understand that. And Waku Connect sends a join message with player info, maintains a map of all players with their details. Sends a join message. Let's see what that looks like in code. It's good. So when is this method called? Send player join message. When is that called? When Waku is initialized. All right, so when the whiteboard load is when Waku is initialized. We probably don't want that. We probably want to have Waku initialized sooner. Let's add that part of the README. Have Waku initialized on the loading screen to save up on the cold start time. All right, that works for now. And let's see what that looks like. Create new game, waiting for players. That's good. Let's join that link from another browser. Okay, something's not right. Why do we see disconnected? Okay, fail to initialize protobuf. Duplicate ID 1. There we go. Paste that in, and while that happens, what state was in game start data? Word is 1, drawer ID is 2. Did it just change that? Oh yeah? All right. Nice. Are you gonna work now? Invalid generation field in content topic. Oh, we cannot add another slash there. So let's add a hyphen instead. The format for the content topic needs to is specific. So we'll add a little hyphen instead of a slash there. All right, we're connected to Waku. Team 2 is us. And team 1 is going to be my incognito, ideally. Oh, let's go. We see players joined on the first node. And we want to send, let's see if sending an I am ready notification triggers it. Oh, yeah, we see player joined. Let's click I am ready on the second node, ready to start. Both players are ready. All right, so first off, we don't see this user on the other node, perhaps because are we using store? We're not using store. So one way is to use store and retrieve the past messages, or the second way is to trigger this from an I am ready message. Let's see what AI would want us to do. On the player one screen, I see both players connected. On player two screen, I see players joined, and only that browser peer ID, player ID. And clicking I am ready sends the message, but does not trigger the game start. Without writing any code just yet, what's the problem in your opinion? And while it does that, let's move this to the forked repository. Players are showing in team one instead of team two, into team two instead of team one. Yes, investigate. Even the strokes don't seem to be coming now, or do they? Oh, strokes were delivered, so that does work. Yeah. All right, it's called an MCP that's gonna reason. I think it's an overkill, and that's what happens sometimes. So what happens when this node calls and I am ready? All right, so message is received. HZK is ready. XKR. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. Okay. No, we fixed it. Um, so now, next up, we have both players joined. What's next? We have two teams. Um, we have both players joined. On team one's turn, let's display it a word that it would draw. Let's render the word along with the sketch on team two. No, how can we make this fun where So team one sees the word and it starts to draw. Yeah, it's fine. Everybody can see the word. Now, team two is going to guess. Okay, I see why this is a multiplayer game, why this is an NVN game, and it cannot be a 1v1 game. Hmm. So let's do it in a way where one person draws and the second person just guesses. And score is calculated on the basis of you guessing the word. Does that make sense, Aaron? Do you think
One
Pictionary can be a
team.
1v1 game?
No, because the outcomes don't, like, each player is not incentivized to guess correctly. They're not incentivized to guess correctly for whatever the other person is drawing. That would give them points. So they're no,
Right,
it shouldn't work.
right. Yeah, yeah, okay. So let's have new players joining in. Choose either of the teams before we start the game. This is why sometimes one-shotting just works better. Yeah, we need at least two players on a single team for this to work.
Yeah, it has to be 2v2.
Nice. It's also helping us set some fail safes. All right, let's take it from the top. Create a new game and join it here. All right, choosing team. I see an option to choose team now. Okay, so let's choose blue here and purple here. Still says that I'm choosing team. It should ideally send a new message. Hmm. I see player using team. Oh, I think I know why this is. All right. And I should see, right. So when player one, player two joins the room after player one does not have info that player one is already there, player one clicks I'm ready and receives the message on player. And player two receives the message but does not update it in its UI. Ideally, the state sync should happen with store and SDS. We let this manually write a state sync for now, considering and in the next time around, let's actually aim to replace this code with the new SDS wrapper that's coming up, which has store queries internally, so we don't have to worry about any of the existing state that's been lost, and states will be synced automatically between clients. All right, without checking the code, let's see if that works. All right, team one, let's refresh that. Okay, we see both the players, team one and team two. I'm ready. I'm ready. All right. So far, so good. Awesome. What's next? Now we want to display the word. We should also um, check if more than one person can join the room. Let's take that. Player one, player two. Team 1, Team 1, Team 2, Team 2. Everybody ready? Oh, are all of these players the same? Are their nodes ID the same? Let's render each client's node peer ID on the header. It's going to be waku.libp2p.peer ID, I assume. Waku just dot node dot no type script. Libp2p dot peer ID. Yeah. Okay. So we do see some problems with state management, which is expected because we're we really don't know the order of all the messages that are sent, which is exactly what STS solves, the new protocol that is being implemented. J4, KU, no, so they are different peers. Um, can a team be more than one person? Player name, player color, content. Yeah, we don't have a concept of, okay, player ready data has a concept of team, and player ready data is part of the message that we send. Player state, that should work, but it detects the same two peers. Let's use let's use the peer ID's last 5 characters as the player name that is being broadcasted. HZK, that's XKR, that's XKR2 for some reason. That's HZK. Okay, so far we have room IDs and we have a half bake let's put this right here. We have a half baked solution for the teams. I think teams need state management for sure. I think the next step before any of this will probably be ensuring that we have the game states being consistent among all the players, which is exactly what STS solves. So maybe we put a pin on this for now and we resume the next time with starting off integrating STS. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun seeing how this simplifies and improves things a lot. What do you
Boom.
think about that, Aaron?
I think that is a solid plan. Discoveries were made on this journey. The requisite integrations
Yeah,
will
we
be
also
made in the
have
next session.
we also have like a 2000 line HTML file that we should probably look at.
Nice.
Yeah, we wanna start trimming this down. A lot of this is just code we don't want.
Let's do it. Let's do it next week if that works for you, or even
Yeah,
later this
yeah,
week, whenever is comfy. Look out
yeah.
for the session on the timeline, folks. Please follow Danish. You can find his X handle in the title of the space. Follow Waku, Waku underscore or ORG. Visit waku.org. Visit us in the Discord and the forums. Well, Danish, thank you. You have been triggering me with your chip shuffling in the background. Only a degenerate can recognize that sound without seeing it. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Please like and share and subscribe, and we will see you very soon for the next one. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Aaron.
And we are
See you next
out.
week. See you soon.